Live. Hey, everybody. Live on YouTube. I'm going to go in and at the Southmont Borough Council meeting for December. It's a week early this year. It's not the third week, second week. So, appreciate y'all stopping by my channel. As always, I always appreciate it. Thank you.
You want us to sign them, Amanda? Yes. Hey, they got that right now.
Was that?
It's Donna. Hey, well, good, how are you doing? Everybody comes to us for something.
Somebody denied somebody got here.
Yeah, something.
It's a motive, there's always a motive.
Yeah. That's where it cut the grain up. I was done for one.
Good job with the snow. If you're up in my neighborhood at 6 o'clock in the morning, all right, you were on top. You were absolutely on top of it. And seriously, the proof is when I hit the city line, Narnia. Up here, drivable. This guy needs a raise. Seriously, he does. I mean,
You get one about every year, don't you?
like, our neighborhood's always last. Like, top of that hill has always been last for some reason. If he's up there at 6 o'clock in the morning, that means he was working all damn night. Okay? Or close to it, or he had all the, whatever it is, but I'm gonna, when he bangs the gavel, I'm gonna mention that too. Because I'm proud. That hasn't happened in years.
Hi, folks.
Hi there. How you doing, Mike? Good. You're the fill-in, okay. Said his better half. Doug, do you know?
Eric's partner, he's on vacation. I didn't get a better look at him.
Downtown, yeah. Yeah.
Keep them
You
coming.
moved up the hill, didn't you? You moved up in the world.
Well, I might not think so.
Well, we can officially welcome you to Southmont. Bill has been less this year.
Yeah, that was mine was out.
But we're actually paying, I think when the year shakes out, we'll have actually paid less this year, the kind of like than before. Do you remember the year that?
Or you lost, somebody lost them, so I'm down.
I don't know. That's a good question. How much was it?
$56. Oh, there.
Yeah, for a couple. bunch, something. Oh, and then there's always the.
Okay, who's going to
I don't set out, we're gonna do a 15 minutes again this month. 20, we were at 20 last time. We were out in 20 minutes last time.
Yeah, that was quick.
It was.
I was impressed.
It was almost a record, I think. We had another one over there. It was about 15 or 20 minutes, but that doesn't happen very often.
Sometimes they,
You know, I'm gonna have to.
no, I told you before, they used to have a workshop. A
Yeah.
couple days before, and they would discuss all this stuff,
Yeah.
which is not. And then it comes to the council meeting, and it's a council meeting night. And we have to go
All over again.
7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 11:30, I have to go to work.
I think it's 7 o'clock, and I keep going to 8 o'clock. Get it while people are sort of sharp and awake. Yes. We approved their, their management agreement. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah. Pretty sure, yeah. We took the final vote on that. And we approved their, Jim's management agreement. Yeah.
That's one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That one's a shuffle.
I would like to see,
Well, it's heartbreaking. Yeah. Now, who's your dog? Did you say you're down to one or? No. Neighborhood down. Call the meeting to order, rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Anthony Piper.
Here.
Doug Berry.
Here.
Richard Berker.
Here.
Herb Ewald, absent. Eugene Coachella.
Here.
Matt McVicker, absent. Bob Morgan.
Here.
Sherry Spiker, present.
All right, public comment. You have a 5-minute time limit. Please clearly state your name and where you reside.
My name's John Klanch. I live at 104 Delia Street. I wanted to speak on the public comment today about what I saw last week during a little snowstorm, and that was Mr. Sam, our street commissioner, doing an amazing job, absolutely amazing job. If I was out and about in my neighborhood, which is the top of the hill, which for the most part, from what I remember for living there for years, has been never plowed before noon. Him and the crews, I guess, were out, from what I could gather, be the middle of the night, from probably most of the night, keeping on top of it. And like I was saying before I came in here, like when I went down Southmont Boulevard and I hit the city line, it was like Narnia. The difference was amazing. It had not been touched down there and in through the hospitals, and it was kind of crazy. But coming back up then, everything in the borough, and I did a little drive around too, checked it out, and I was thoroughly impressed. So like I said kiddingly, but I do mean it seriously. That guy needs a raise. I mean, whatever it is that he deserves it. He's a good guy, and the crew you guys have right now currently, I'm impressed with what they have going on. So that's a big kudos to Sam and everybody. And I gave some correspondence to Amanda, and I want to thank her for being listening to me and willing to talk with them. And good luck. The big guy's here today, so he wants to speak to you guys on the agenda. But that's all I have to say for today on the public comment. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody, too.
Merry Christmas. I just got a heart attack. My problem is the billing with the so-called sewer account that I have. Okay? I don't know what's going on with it. I have been paying according to quote, a pay agreement or whatever. And the last time I saw a bill, it was just like right where it was before we ever started, okay? When I talked to Amanda a couple years ago when this all started, first of all, she said it hadn't been paid for probably approximately 10 years, okay? It's number one. Now, if somebody does not pay a bill, that should have been addressed, okay? She did not do her job, okay, by letting it go for 10 years, okay? Whether it wasn't paid, I don't live up there, okay? Now, something should have been done, okay? I come in good faith and said, I want to take care of this. Did I not? Okay, and now I get a thing, $5,000. Where's my money going? Tell me. Tell me where my money's going. Am I getting all kind, I mean, the amount that you charge for late fees is totally way out of line, okay? But, I mean, actually, seriously, if whatever, you're gonna have to bill me every month or something, or whatever. I don't know, we gotta make some type of agreement here, because I'm not happy with any of this at all, or something should be forgiven. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me what can be done about it. I tried. And I think I was more than fair in coming in here. And I've sent you a check for how many months? I guess I'd say it's going on approximately 3 years now, okay? What's gonna happen here? What can be done? Nothing?
I would like to elaborate on what he had to say. I also want to bring up something about something that I brought up to him. I've done right to know requests about the sewer maintenance account for my property and for other properties on Delia Street and other random properties throughout the borough. Okay, and the right to know requests bring up that you guys have spent not a penny. There has been no money spent on sewer maintenance for any address on Delia Street, for any address that I did, okay? So what you guys are collecting is for a coofer. You guys are collecting for a slush fund that has never been spent out of. Okay, and what he's very frustrated, and he has a hard time sometimes articulating what he say, but what he wants to say actually is what he's asking for is he's asking you to forgive this current payment agreement is what he's asking you to do officially. He wants it forgiven. He has come in good faith for about 2.5 years, and he's tried to pay this $300 a month that he didn't agree to $300 a month. That is what the borough council at that time stipulated, that he would pay $300 a month or you'll shut off our water. Sherry agreed that when you guys put in ordinance 520 that shutting off people's water is not right, okay? So, and my dad spoke with Anthony out front, and he said, and I explained to him also that, look, if you're only collecting it and you can't prove that you spent any of this money, okay, then there's no need to continue collecting this money off of him. He doesn't have it, okay? He can't afford $300 a month. He's too proud to say that, but he can't, okay? And it's getting a little bit ridiculous. I want anybody sitting up there to put yourselves in his shoes and go, can you afford an extra $300 a month to pay a bill? Like Amanda, he's frustrated the fact that he was never billed, and then he was hit with, you owe us $7,000. Okay, and he's tried his best to pay it, but he just can't. And at this point, okay, with the ordinance 520, you guys can just shut the water off anytime you want to, with due process, I guess. It's a little ridiculous, okay? And for 47 years, he's owned this property. For 47 years, he's been picked on by the zoning officer. This is why I am so adamant and why I am so ridiculous and why I get the way I am, because I try to advocate for him because he might not be able to do it so well. We are asking, he is asking, and I am asking that you forgive what you say he owes, and he can start over fresh, okay, in 2025 moving forward, because literally, there is no, the money isn't spent. It's only being collected for you guys to collect interest on. There's no money being paid out in the sewer maintenance right to know request that I did, and I'll do one for everything in the borough, okay? I'll do right to know request for every address in the borough to see if there's actually been any money spent. It's $600 a year in sewer maintenance. $600 a year, and you don't maintain it. That's the problem. It's ridiculous. There's no maintenance being spent. You can't prove that you've spent any of the money being okay. Flow meters? Okay, and this is on correspondence. That's why I'm still speaking. That's why the time is not important, Sherry. I'm sorry. I'm going to finish up. I think you guys understand what I mean, though. And we're asking for some human compassion here and a little bit of understanding, because it can't be done anymore. So, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I have paid approximately anywhere between $280 and $300 for how many months? Okay? Now, that would be, say, 24. Let's go at least, probably at least 30 or 30, between 30 and 36 months.
Sir, if I can interrupt you?
Yes.
I have for the board to address this in executive session.
Yeah.
My notes from Attorney Hogfeld, which apparently you got, I think, from Linda, we're showing that there was about $5,600 paid. So,
Well, then why do I still have a $5,000 bill? I mean, you know what, let me say this. You
I'll
know,
verify that, but.
that's fine. But why don't I get a monthly or quarterly statement that's saying this much went to what? I don't. All I get is a thing you tear off the 3 tags. One says $5,000 or $6,000, $3. You know, it's a poor system for my case probably. Okay? Am I happy with it? No, I think I come in. If I wouldn't have said anything and just left it ride and ride and ride, I didn't. I come in like a man does. Okay? Not like the people sitting at the desk, a couple of people sitting at that table with you, okay? I have a serious medical illness right now, okay? I don't know how long I'm gonna live, that's number one. And I have a lady living in that house that's blind, okay? You know, and it's like there's no compassion, there's no empathy, there's no nothing. You know, and I'm trying, you know? I've never gotten nothing from this borough but flack over the years. That's all I have ever gotten. Okay? Believe me. And I'm sorry if I sound to be upset or whatever, and I'm not happy about it. I want something done about this bill. If I gotta pay something to make up for whatever, I'm more than glad to do it if I owe it. But I don't think some of the things are reasonable, you know? I come down and I ask you something, what do you tell me? You gotta go in front of the council. Well, I'm in front of the council now, and I'm speaking my grievance, okay? Can something be done about this? You know, Bill Trevorrow sat right there and said, oh, this is a pretty big chunk of money. What did he do? He went nothing. He was gone 2 weeks later. Muncher, you know, he came up with something, you know, and the only reason I did it was not to shut the water off, okay? You know, I don't like that. Where I live at, you can't shut no water off, okay? That's why I live where I do. But this is downright ludicrous that I have to be responsible for that. And it's not right. Okay? So is something gonna be done, or what are we gonna do here? You tell me. Does anybody have an answer?
I can address this with council, but I'm putting in an executive session probably to discuss what your legal options are.
I got one more comment. The billing is not right. It should be done, you should get a bill, you see what should be done, you send a letter out, boom, you want it monthly or you want it quarterly. That should be your right as being a property owner. Okay? Whether it's more work for somebody else, but the monthly thing might be a little more convenient. There's a lot of retired people living in Southmont that it would be very, very advantageous to them. Not everybody is a retired Bethlehem supervisor that has the money that can write out the check for $500 or $600 or $700 in a month. Okay? Amen.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
There were a couple other people that walked in. Are you here for public comment? Do you have anything?
Yeah, my wife and I are at some point. You want to go first?
Go ahead.
My name's Rob Forsey. I'm at 174 Floyd Street in Southmont. I sent in some correspondence to Amanda. Hopefully the board has had a chance to take a look at that. We recently were notified by the Southmont Borough that we were subject to getting our sewer laterals taken care of underneath our house. We went through the process of going to JRA, talking to them, having them send 4 contractors out for an estimate, as is the process that they go through. Of the 4 that came out to our house, to give you a little background, our house is a mid-century modern that was built in 1952 and has radiant heat throughout the floors. So this really complicated things quite a bit. And I am now the proud recipient of the highest estimate that they've ever had to repair any of these issues. If you have it in your packets, that estimate came in at $32,500. To do that, they're actually going to have to run laterals through the house. They can't go under the house because they can't break through the floor. If they break through the floor, they run into an issue of doing the laterals. In one portion of that house, we have the plans from when the house was built, thank God, and it shows some of the radiant heat that's in there, but they're not 100% sure of one section where they go through, whether or not they're going to have to impact that. And if, according to the estimate that I gave you today, that is without them doing anything to the sewer laterals or jacking up, hammering the floor. So if they have to do that, it adds another $20,000 to the estimate.
So 52,000.
Yeah, so we would be at $52,000 if it came in that way. So if you're wondering what that means to an impact on us, I mean, obviously $52,000 is a lot of money. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have that kind of cash. And so the only real option we have is if the JRA will give us the loan through their program. That translates to $6 per thousand, or if it was the $32,000, we'd be looking at $192 a month in additional payments under their loan program. If it's the $50,000, then we're talking $300 a month. I'm asking today, and in my correspondence, I asked for an exemption because of the hardship that this will place on our family for that kind of a payment plan. I believe that that's a 6-year obligation. I might have that wrong, but it basically I'll be paying that payment until it's paid off. So what I really need is an exemption from City Council for my home that would stay with the property. Because if I go to sell the house at a later date, then that person has to, deal with it, then that's another thing. I did a little bit of research and looking at the requirements for the sewer lateral program. We do not have to have 100% participation, and I believe at this level, it puts me into a category that I would hope would be at least considered for an exemption of this issue. The other thing to consider is $52,000. If the average price what people are paying on those sewer laterals right now is $4,700 according to the redevelopment authority. So literally you could do 6 houses for the price of my one.
More than 6 houses.
Yeah. So I mean, there's those parts that are a part of it. This isn't the first time I've been in front of this board, although I think some of the members have changed since the last time that I was here. In addition to this, when we bought the house, Adam Dugan, who was a realtor at the time, did not mention we'd have to be replacing the laterals. I was just given a piece of paper because you guys were nice enough to replace up to that house. So I was told that that had handled the situation, or it might have been a different consideration, you know, that I would have of purchasing it. I've also, a piece of property, for those of you who may not be familiar with it, it's Gene Bennett's old house, used to be an English teacher up at Westmont. It's right at the top of Floyd and Gardner, at the corner there. We put $40,000 into that house when we moved in there. Sam and I were just talking, and I was reminding him that there was a bunch of dead trees, detritus that was all over that property. We had that cleared off. We put a French drain the whole length of the property because there's runoff that comes off of Gardner that comes down. That's redirecting the water away from our sewer laterals. I mean, we put a lot of investment into this, and now to be looking at somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 to do this seems excessive to me.
For what it's worth, council, Eric gave me this too, for executive session.
Okay, good.
But I did have a question for Rob, a couple of things.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah, go ahead, you're first. Good thought.
I thought the borough did the laterals to the houses, and is
They
there,
did.
Right.
okay,
That
so
is
we're talking about under your lateral.
Which is the issue, because I mean, with the radiant heat in the floor,
Yeah, understood. And so, what's happening, I'm struggling to understand this. Do you have, some source of water that's flowing through your sewer system and exiting?
when Sam came out and did the visuals, he pulled the port down on the bottom end of the property. Remember, there's those two ports down there. And actually, there's a sewer lateral, the city's sewer, or the Southmont sewer lateral that comes through on one side, and then we have another sewer lateral. And when he did the visual inspection, I mean, God bless him, it's pouring every time you guys send him out to do that, but I think that there was water in there that you observed. So I think that there is some water getting in someplace, but I don't know.
Infiltrated somehow from a spring or something, okay.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about it, Richard, is right across the street from us. If you're on Floyd Street, and if any of you get out of the car right there at our property, you can hear a stream running all the time. There is literally in the stormwater drainage a stream that has been rerouted into that area. So you know, between that, which has always been one of those things that's kind of like, wow, I can't believe we got a stream coming through there, but on top of that, I have wet spots in Gardner where the runoff comes down. A lot of times, I mean, no offense to Sam, you guys own the park on the back part of it, they pile some snow back there, it is what it is, but it happens all year long. Like, I mean, it has to be like bone dry, dead dry for like a week before I can take my mower over that piece of, that part of our property. Cause it's just a quagmire back there. So I don't know much about runoff and wastewater and all those other things. I would leave that up to, you know, to y'all, but that seems like that may be impacting some of this, and I don't know how to fix that. You know, a French drain going through the property is already, if you ever came over to the house, I'd show you what happens.
Where did you do the French drain? Was it along Gardner and Floyd?
It literally, I mean, this thing was huge, Sherry, so it goes all the way along the back of our property on Gardner, and then
Okay.
takes a right turn down through the property, and then, actually, discharges like down,
On the hill.
I don't know what you would call it, like on the corner of the park and our property. Because that park with the picnic bench is right on the back.
The bird sanctuary.
Yes, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Whatever.
Well, the crows have scared all the cardinals away this year, so it's been a thing.
When they did the French drain, were they able to get the water foundation?
Yeah, actually, it's been one of those things that it was, Gene had, I mean, the trench was there, the pipes were in there, so we came in and were able to, I mean,
Finish her
I wouldn't have
job.
even have thought this beforehand, but they had like half the project done, and it was an open trench.
Yeah.
So it was obviously, I've got 4 children, I don't want them, you know, playing in that, even though that was the kind of stuff I played in as a kid, so. So, Mike, did you?
And so when you say you're in the floor heating, you're talking, that would be your basement level?
Yes,
Your
both.
lower level?
Both the main level and the lower level are in-ground heating.
I just have factual questions. I have it on, again, discussing the executive session as to what your options are legally, but. Well, I have a question for you, was there any way that they can put like a liner in someplace underneath the floor?
I asked that, Mike, and actually what they were telling me is that they cannot replace, or they can't put like a 4-inch liner inside of a 5-inch pipe type of thing. And so we have a 5-inch pipe in there, and they can't go in and do that, because that would, to me, be the easiest way to do
For
it.
sure.
And keep it, you know.
Sometimes they can, sometimes, that was just a factual question,
Yeah.
I've seen it both ways.
Yeah, I asked the same question because I figured that would drop the price quite a bit, because I'm not trying to, like, I really entered this hoping that it would be
Yeah.
around $5,000 and we would just pay the money and get it done, but this is not.
Mr. McAdams, do you have any idea where that infiltration, is there an alternative that would seem feasible to the borough?
I do not have the ability to tell you exactly where the infiltration is. I'd have to.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Oh, you're good. I'd have to have a camera crew come up and run through to see if we have separation on the pipe, if there's a crack in the pipe, so on and so forth, to see where it's coming in. Which, that's an option that we can have.
Sam, did you go out and do the inspection after the French drain and then you guys were?
Yeah, he actually did it
Yes.
twice.
All right.
The first time we went to Penn Woods and you were like, would you stop flushing the toilet? Because we were leaving, and then you guys came back and it said you did it again, so. Yeah, when we moved here, I took the whole family up to Penn's Cave because, you know, I grew up around here and they'd never seen it. So I literally had a house full of kids trying to get into cars, and he's there trying to inspect it. And so I thought that would remind you, because it was kind of a mess that day, to say the least. And then you came out a second time because it said you came out last year and inspected it, I think it was. So, again, so. Any other factual questions, maybe?
What type of pipe is under your house? Is it, it's not
No, it's cast iron.
cast iron? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I even asked them if they could do a pressure test, and they said with cast iron, it's not gonna be worth doing, you know. I mean, I'd be willing to pay for that, if that would help you to make your mind up, but I don't think that it's gonna work, so.
John, did you have something you wanted to add to your public?
I wanted to ask a question. Okay, with all this talk about lead water lines, what, if and when is Southmont gonna put a new water system in?
So that would be the Greater Johnstown Water Authority, not Southmont. So we won't be, the borough won't be putting in a new water system, but the Greater Johnstown Water Authority would be, who would be looking into doing that.
Okay, if they put it in, are you gonna slap all kinds of fees on it? And we're gonna have to pay for it? Or is the Johnstown Water Company and the federal government gonna pay for it?
We don't have anything to do with the water lines coming into the house. The public water supply, that would all be handled through the Greater Johnstown Water Authority. So I can't speak to whether or not they will have fees or what that is.
I'm curious, I was curious to know.
Chris Sawyer, I'm with Borough. I'm here to talk about municipal
Okay.
discussion.
All right. Correspondence, we have the letter from Rob and Jen Horsey regarding their request for exemption from sewer requirements, and then the letter from John Klanch regarding a request for an updated payment plan. We will be looking at those legal issues surrounding those in executive session and potentially have action on those at the end of the meeting. Minutes, I need a motion to approve the November 8th, 2024 meeting minutes. Moved and seconded, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Amanda, what are these, what committee meeting minutes?
Oh, that was the, street personnel.
I need a motion to approve the November 26, 2024 Street and Personnel Committee meeting minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I wasn't there. Were you there? Anybody else there? Can I move the, no, I wasn't there.
See, I can't second.
Well, I'll move to second.
You can step down and step in.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. West Hills Regional Police, I don't see anybody here today. And I don't see anybody here from the fire department. Engineers report, we needed to approve a 2025 engineering services agreement. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Did you have anything for that? Zoning reports in the packet. Any questions on the zoning report? Okay, solicitor's report?
For the public
Yeah.
portion, the council had requested that there were some issues with local inspection agency. And we, as to a number of sites, on December 2nd, Eric sent a letter to Elizabeth Schaefer at Laurel Municipal Inspection Agency inquiring. We had not, until Friday, we had not had a response. Eric gave me an update indicating that there was a phone message left for him. He tried to call back, nobody was there, so they're playing phone tag to try to get a response. So, as a practical matter, you have, Borough has, excuse me, let me just check my notes on the dates. The Borough has a municipal agreement for the inspections, and if you want out of that, it renews automatically, so you need to give 90 days notice on that. I think we said the original agreement was dated, February 2023. So we're probably up against that 90 days notice. But I just wanted to report, we don't have a response for you yet. We're trying to get one, but we don't have a response. I think there were 5 cases, looking at the letter. Part of 6 cases of specific things, the code officer had noted to them. They weren't moving forward with the inspections, and we're kind of still waiting to get a response.
Is there an alternative to Laurel?
That's the magic question.
Yeah, and exactly what date would we have to give them notice by?
I know we were thinking, for some reason, it was in our mind, because we didn't have the original agreement, we thought it was April 2023, which would have meant this month. But if it was February, we may have missed that deadline. Now, if you wanted that, we would certainly look at that to determine, whether or not there could be, we give the notice and then negotiate a termination date if that was feasible to do so.
Well,
But you hate to terminate until you know who you have. I mean, that's.
I would say that we're in the middle of so many with them right now, but we might want to look at what our alternatives are for the following term.
I mean, to be safe, if you're looking at 90 days, I didn't count it specifically, but basically November, December, January. So by October 31st of 2025, you want to make that decision and get that notice out.
Because it'll take a while to, unless Amanda has someone else in mind, or
Not in particular, no.
I think Mark Walker did it for you before.
before. And that's it before. So we put that on the particular file.
I I didn't put that on for executive session, I didn't think that needed to be put there.
Just to see what our alternatives are.
And I apologize, like I said, we tried, and he tried to get back to the meeting before we left, but they just missed each other.
That's it.
Street commissioners report.
Nothing, aside from, before you guys already have, do I have any questions?
Any questions for Sam? Okay, borough managers report.
Same thing, unless you have questions, I have nothing else.
Any questions?
No, the only, Amanda and I had asked, so on your property transfer inspections, are we doing something different with that, or are we putting together, because now you're actually going out and inspecting the properties before the transfer, correct?
Yeah, we've been doing that.
Okay, so that's, yeah, but that's fairly new.
No, I added the sidewalks recently, but all the other violations have been included for as long as I've.
Prior to transfer.
Yeah,
And what type of violation?
just like high grass, if we've already sent them notices for violations.
Okay,
if
so
they're
that
still
would just
outstanding.
go to the settlement officer, that there's
Yeah.
violations on the property.
Mhm.
Okay, but it's not preventing the property from transferring?
No,
Okay. That was the only question.
Okay. Mayor's report.
Nothing this one.
All right, discussion items, committees, have nothing for administrative borough services, community planning and improvements. We have a meeting coming up, Amanda, which day is that?
Seventeenth.
17th, to go over the active transportation plan draft.
We got some good news. The Camber County Planning Commission got notified by the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, GCD, that they received a grant to complete a comprehensive plan for the 5 municipalities in the West Hills. So this is, kind of a big deal, and we'll be moving forward with that. Really, it's the Planning Commission office is going to need to initiate this, so, we'll communicate that to Doug and Amanda, if I hear anything. But I'm kind of excited about it, and I've seen the budget that we provided adequate funding for matching, probably more than the necessary funds for the matching portion of the borough. Any questions?
Emergency management,
Nothing.
grade, or finance, Sherry.
We will approve the budget in short time here, under budget, and, let's see. Under finance.
And I have a question on the LSA grant that we received for the building stuff. I haven't gotten any requests for signatures yet.
I haven't gotten anything. I forget the girl's name. She's supposed to get back to me on our next steps. I haven't heard back from her, so I'll check in with her again.
Okay, just want to make sure I don't miss anything.
Nope.
Because we obviously want to keep that moving. Greater Johnstown Water Authority.
At our last meeting, we renewed the management contract with RDM. It's been there for a number of years. And including in that contract is the ability for them in-house to start towards replacing the lead lines that need to be replaced. Just remember that window mandated by DEP is a 10-year window to get all this done. So we're going to work as fast as we can, drastically increasing the number of houses that we're going to change in a year by adding another crew and finding necessary equipment to do that. So instead of contracting it out, we're going to try and do all that in-house. also coordinating that with the gas company, who still within our region is placing a lot of their lines. So to minimize the amount of repairs needed by any one agency to kind of bundle that all together and make it all happen at the same time. That's it.
For stormwater.
I want to thank Amanda. She updated our public education and outreach program and added the target list update on there, which are pretty much the businesses in the borough, as far as that goes. So I think that's ready to be approved. So we need a motion to approve the public outreach and education program for the MS4.
Motion for that.
I make the motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion or questions for Mr. McGraw while they're here?
You're updating the maps for the MS4.
Yeah, so, I guess, Amanda asked me to come and give a review of it. So you guys are doing really good with the public education part of it. Documentation is key. Basically, your stormwater management program is broken down into 6 minimum control measures. Public education program is the first one. The second one's public involvement and participation. That one deals a little more with like standard operating procedures, getting public input for that kind of thing, ordinances. Third piece of that is advertising at least one annual MS4 public meeting, which you guys have done and documented. The third one is the one that includes the mapping portion. Where we are with that, we have a lot of the mapping already done from all the other projects we've done here. We're going to pull it together, make a designated map for storm, and we'll probably have to come back and fill in any spots that are missing from the previous, the surveys and stuff for the other projects, just to make sure everything ties together and we know where everything's at. Basically what that is, you're supposed to inspect every outfall, or if you can't get to the outfall, a lot of the outfalls I think you guys have are underground, discharged underground to chain run. So that would mean that we would have to have an observation point technically, so where we can go in to the inlet or whatever and make sure there's nothing coming down there it's not supposed to be. That's supposed to be done at least once every permit cycle. Permit cycle is 5 years. If there's running water in there, it's supposed to be done yearly. So that's something that needs to be addressed moving forward as well. That program also includes the ordinance that was updated with the model ordinance that you guys did in May, so you're good with that. MCL 5 is the same thing, a lot of this stuff's repetitive, and then the big one for as far as like inspections, your last inspection with DEP was in 2018. MCM 6 is a big one. They're here in the field, they're going through your facilities, they're making sure you have pollution control measures as far as like your leaf cleanups, spill response, stuff like that. And that, as far as that is, the most important thing with that is documenting everything you do so that when we do the annual reporting, I have something tangible I can send into them that says they're doing everything they're supposed to, here it is, and then when they come to an inspection, we'll have all that documentation, from year to year to show them. This is the MCM 6 alone. So that's the big one for these guys. With MCM 6, it requires that you have at least one employee training event annually. That can be as simple as having somebody pull something up on YouTube and documenting that you've watched, procedures on salting or de-icing or something like that washing in bays, clean up properly. We do Blair counties, they do a collaborative one. They usually have a speaker come in, all municipalities get together, and they have like a day session to do that. You don't have to do that, that's just something you can do easily, like watching, like I said, YouTube, or I don't know if you guys have to do P-stats, training, stuff like that. But just make sure you document it so that I can put it in annual report. Spill kits and stuff, I think we went through that when we did the inspection in 18. Just make sure you're keeping up with spill kits. Trucks around your drains. I think that's it. Anybody have any questions?
No, I don't think so.
So then we have a motion and a second to approve the update. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Personnel, we did meet, and went over the employee, reviews, quarterly reviews, so those were addressed. Police, Bob.
No report.
Property maintenance, streets and sidewalks, Matt's not here, but we also had a meeting to discuss the priorities for the borough for the next quarter in terms of what the streets crew will be focusing on, things to get prepped for the spring and summer. Shade tree, Richard?
Been reporting on this most of this year that we wanted to submit a shade tree funding for Bureau of Forestry through the ACNR grant. Minimum grant is $50,000, and that's a $10,000 match. We want to submit that sometime after June 1st. You can use in-kind labor as match. I'm working with Barb Haig, works with Tom Harley, architect. She's a landscape architect. What we want to do is hire an arborist to inventory the trees or conditions, create, basically policies and procedures to maintain the shade trees and have an inventory so we can get out ahead of, all the maintenance needs, to protect and enhance our street trees. As far as the required match, I'm gonna try to get together with the shade tree committee. Hopefully Doug, you can sit in. We will have to look outside of the borough's budget to find match. Probably we're looking at a application to the community foundation, and we'll need to go visit those folks sometime. Maybe not before Christmas, but sometime right after the new year. So that's still alive. I don't know, and I'll be hearing about that more, I think, in January, maybe.
Yeah, Richard, I can't remember the deadlines for grant applications. The Unity Foundation, check with Angie or Katrina or somebody down there.
It's end of January, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. I do know that there's a specific fund, Marlon Stevens Fund, that was for just that type of thing. I don't want to commit anything, but no, it's not anything like 10,000 usually. And we're lucky $1,000 in it or something.
Yeah, couple of steps, yeah. But, and again, what we don't know is what, if any, of our, again, this is an arborist and a landscape architect, but there may be things that can contribute. So, again, we're gonna, be pushing this here over the next month.
Thank you. We need, under new business, we need to approve the 2025 final budget.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. We need to approve advertising the 2025 final budget.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Approve ordinance number 552, setting the 2025 tax rate.
I make that motion.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Second. Any discussion? I do want to add that we did not include a tax increase for this year. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Need to approve ordinance number 553, setting the 2025 garbage fee.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Need to approve the 2025 meeting schedule.
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Need to approve resolution 2024-03, amending the fee schedule. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Business items, approve ratification of payroll 11/19 through 12/9/24.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Approve payment of bills 11/19 to 12/9/24.
So moved.
For a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Approve transfers 11/19 to 12/9/24.
So moved.
For a second.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Approve treasurer's report for November of 2024.
So moved.
For a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make that motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will return into executive session for potential action afterwards.
Amanda left a chair for you.
Huh?
Amanda left a chair for you.
Oh, this,
Yeah, they're gonna discuss if they're gonna help us out or not, and then we'll know here in a moment.
huh? Well, anyway, that's what it is. I didn't know.
Look what's going on, still live here on YouTube.
As long as it's close.
Buddy, hey, you can not ask for $50,000. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna do shit for you.
We've been going back and forth about this for 4 years.
So I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah, so we're not gonna be surprised.
Good timing though, coming today.
How are you looking this up?
Oh, since we actually moved in, fall, August of 2020. So it was like right in the middle of the pandemic.
So you've been here 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
You're a little secret. I own the house for 44 years. Did you hear the one comment that I made?
Where's your money going?
That's number one. Number two, I said about men sitting at the table.
Yeah.
There were 3 men sitting at that table. They're all a bunch of, you know what they are? They'll sit there, don't talk to you to your face.
Oh, yeah.
And smile at you, and then turn around.
Yeah, that's probably what's gonna, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, if nothing happens out of this, at least I tried, you know, so that's the way that I'm
Who's
looking
you
at
got
it.
a house off of?
Jean Bennett, she used to be the English teacher up at Westmont. And before that, it was owned by, it was built in 52 by some doctor. It's a really neat house, it looks like a, right on the corner of Floyd and Gardner.
Floyd.
So Floyd is,
I know where Floyd's at. John Hiking used to live up there.
yeah, so we're the last house.
It's all the way up on top.
Yeah,
Oh, you're up on top.
yeah,
Up where?
like down off the hill, but I'm not up on the big side, like on the bigger house.
Okay. I'll tell you what. It should have been done right. The first, you know, you're gonna 5-inch pipe under these things. Why don't they dig it out and shove a piece of 4-inch right inside?
Well, that's what I was talking to him about, and the lining and all that other stuff, you know, as an alternative, and he said that
They don't wanna do it.
well, they're saying that the regulations won't let them put the 4-inch. Yeah, that's probably why, because they wanna see it replaced. But that's the problem, right, is that if they're gonna run this through there, they actually have to reroute all of our sewer lines, all of our water lines, and they're gonna be going through the basement, which is a fully finished basement, like.
So we need new floors,
Yeah,
all that, new baseboards,
Hey,
everything.
I'll tell you what.
yeah.
And they're saying a month.
Dig
A
the
month.
dig the radiant
I
up.
mean,
Dig up, seriously.
they gotta
dig
wait
it
for everybody
Dig it
else,
right
because
up.
when
Do
we're
it
four
right.
times the,
Yeah.
You know what? I tell you
4 years,
what,
you're
seriously,
kidding me?
you
This is
come down here,
ridiculous.
you can fall over dead arguing and fighting.
Well, but that's the thing, is that the vendors that they had that were part of that program through the redevelopment authority, 4 of them showed up, but 3 of them didn't want to touch it.
We have one.
Like
one.
they walked away, you know, right
And these
after
are
they
people
did
we
it.
search
so.
for. These are people that have been selected. So we took in people that were contractors they selected.
Yeah.
So these people were supposed to be notified, well, these are the types of houses that you're gonna run into. Mid-century, lots of concrete, lots of tile, lots of radiant, you know, heat to the floors. You know, absolutely.
I'm gonna be walking this.
Okay.
You can go out, but you just can't come back in.
But thank you very much.
Just so you know. Have a good
Heads up
night.
on this.
Thank you.
I don't wanna be here with you.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
It's what it happens. Well, it said that when they were reading, the attorney there was talking about your stuff, he said you already paid 5,600 into it, so if you owed $5,000, then.
They owe you $600.
then they owe
They,
Were you in court? You said.
But no, when we were.
No. Did you go to court over this yet?
Oh, no, not yet, no.
Huh?
Not yet.
Why
But
not?
because I wanted to try this first, and then if, I mean, but at $52,000,
It's
You know.
it's your business what you do.
well,
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you what. Like I said, you can turn blue in the face, whatever. You don't want, they don't care.
depends on who you are. Some people get favors.
Yeah.
We're hoping $52,000 gets us that favor.
when we
It's
found
more
out,
of
it was
who-
the highest, it was the
it-
highest amount they had had and through the whole city.
It's more of who you
Like,
are.
It was like, holy crap,
Well,
you
we're
know,
not anybody.
that was one of the things.
Where do you work at? That's none of my business. You don't want to tell me this.
Oh, I'm the executive director for Vision Together 2025.
What's that?
And it's
It's a nonprofit in
nonprofit
the area.
downtown. We actually
Raises
just started
money.
a tax credit program.
Oh, you-
over
no,
the
wait.
next 6 years, you know.
You don't want anything in Bethlehem Steel. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude and ignorant.
Well, it's like they're talking about those trees in there, and I was actually sitting there thinking to myself, we're putting 350 trees in the city of Johnstown right now. You know, I mean, I don't know if we can do it up here, but I'm not gonna volunteer that. And it sound like I'm trying to buy them off or anything like that, you know, I don't wanna do any of that kind of stuff, so. But we're doing that stuff, we're putting houses up, you know, in the city, we're doing home improvement grants, all that.
Really?
stuff.
They
Yeah.
do like community outreach programs and stuff
Where,
like
do- where,
that.
where does it have to be? In the city?
Yeah, it has to be in the city.
It can't be in like, in.
No, because that was one of the things, is I tried to let them, like DCD, who is the one who did the tax credit program, and if they'd given me more lateral, then I could have gone outside the city limits, but.
Like Lorraine Borough, Guystown, wherever.
Yeah, I can't touch any of that.
is there anybody out there that's given anything where you can get it?
Well, the DCED has a lot of these programs that they do, but during the last budget session, they cut all of those like home improvement grants and stuff like that. So we've got 50,000 we're doing in home improvements, but they used to have like 300,000 to do that with.
When you say
So-
300, that's the maximum budget, right?
That was for the state, yeah, they got a
Oh,
grant,
okay.
they got the county got a grant for that, and they handed that 300,000 out, I think, like it went pretty quick. but-
Yeah, right, they ain't gonna go for it,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, and they're doing it on, I mean, I agree with this, I mean, they're doing it on income-based issues, so the people who make the less are getting it first, but it's just one of those things where, there's so much work that needs to be done around here. I mean, the redevelopment authority gets like 4 or 5 applications a day on $50,000, so I mean, it's gonna be gone quick, but the good news
That's
is.
6 houses on 300.
Right. So,
Okay.
you do that, you know, we get 50,000 this year to do it, but it's 50,000 each year over the next 6 years, so it's actually 300,000 total. But you gotta wait until the funding renews every year. It's like, you
Yeah.
ever work for PennDOT?
Yeah.
So you might have heard of this, because I mean, I grew up in Pennsylvania, I'm from Clearfield County originally.
Okay, I know,
You remember
okay.
you remember the old PennDOT budgets where you spend it or you lose it?
I used to work, I worked for Quaker Sales.
Yeah.
Quaker Sales, PennDOT comes down, pays one price for asphalt, and everybody something else.
Yeah.
They have their, you know, I know what you're saying.
So my point is that I've gotta spend that money every year by July 1st, or we lose it. So, like, you know, that's the thing that's nice about that stuff as we go through those programs. It definitely has to go out. We're doing facade grant stuff, around the city right now. You know, Babo's Motors, out on 56. It's that car lot that's right when you're coming into town up there.
Babo's.
Yeah, up on the west end.
Yeah.
Jim Babish's
Yeah.
uncle or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Another shyster, another Jim Babish shyster.
Yeah, down by where Sam, my former boss used to live in that area. You can see it. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a facade grant down there. That's one of the ones that we're working through, and then there's a couple other businesses downtown that's doing it. Shoe Magic.
All downtown businesses.
Bougie. Yeah, it has.
All downtown businesses,
No, it's not. I mean, Babo's is out on the west end. So.
well, and then
That's still in the city of Johnstown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like, that's the thing. It's
the
not
Central,
like city.
the Central Park situation where they were, vision was key in, making sure they're gonna destroy Central Park, basically. They're part of that. They're, you know, sorry, man. I mean, it is what it is, dude. Hate to call you out, but,
You know the funny thing about that, Johnny, you can say that about us, but when we got the raise grant, what we did with that money is we handed it to the city. So none of that $24 million is sitting in my bank
Yeah,
account.
it's not same with vision.
Yeah,
It might be same
I
with the
drive
city.
a 21 Chevy pickup out there. I'm not driving like brand new cars or anything like that.
I understand what you're saying,
People like to
but,
talk, it's okay.
but I mean, you know, if that's the case, then, you know, and you got the money and handed it to them, I mean, if my grandmother handed me a $100 bill, I couldn't go buy weed with it. Okay, so I mean, you could have said to the city, you're not wasting the money on destroying Central Park.
Like, I mean, that situation that you're using, I mean, she's not gonna know that you spent it on weed. You know, in that situation.
Because that's not right. That's not the right thing to do. I mean, there's the right thing to do, and then there is how to embezzle money. Okay. I mean,
well, you know, I mean, it's life, you know, is life fair? No, you know, it's just the way it is, unfortunately.
And look, you can believe anything you want, but I go to bed with no problem with
I
money.
know.
And I don't
Me
cheat
too.
anybody, and I don't take
Me
advantage
too.
of anybody.
Yeah, we would
And,
never. That's definitely not the way he goes.
So,
I wish you the best of luck. I hope they take care of your sewers for you. Honest God, I do. I mean, on that note, you know, I mean, it's. I hope they take care of your sewers, and I hope they take care of our thing, because I mean, you know,
It's just about people taking care of people.
exactly, and it's like, don't. That's fine. I'm talking loud. I'm live on YouTube, so I want it to be heard. Okay, so.
oh, sorry, I didn't know you were allowed.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah, I didn't know you
You're
were
still filming
videoing
me?
us.
always, absolutely, we're in public. So yeah.
Well, good luck.
you know? I mean, yeah, it's, you know, when you need help, you know, like, when you've been a resident for 40 some odd years or whatever, you know, and you get exploited, you know. It gets,
But you don't really know me, and to sit there and say that about me to my face, to be honest, I don't really appreciate it.
What's that?
I mean, that I'm embezzling. I'm not embezzling.
I didn't say you. I didn't say you specifically, but I know, I am pretty aware of what Vision 2025 is all about.
Okay.
I didn't say you specifically.
That's up to you, but you're looking at me and talking to me like I'm Vision, and I'm telling you.
No, I'm not,
I'm not embezzling any money.
I'll make that clear.
I'm not trying to steal anything.
There have been things that have been shaped, non-disclosure agreements with government officials?
Non-disclosure agreements.
With government officials, and why aren't your meetings public?
Are no longer being done.
Why aren't your meetings public?
Because
You take
we're not a
government money.
government agency, John.
You take grants.
But everybody takes grants. United Way takes grants, you know? Every public entity that took ARPA funds, according to your logic, should have their meetings open to the public. And if that's the way they want to do it, it's fine with me. To be honest, I'd love that. If Senator Langerholt came to me and said, your organization is going to be funded by the government, I'd be happy to do that.
Listen, and here's your opportunity to speak. I mean, you know, you don't have to run away from, yeah, there's one person watching, you know.
I'm offended at the
You know.
fact that you're saying this stuff to my face. I mean, and it's one of the situations that if you feel that, and that's how you feel, that's your opinion, man. You can do that, but I can tell you right now that I'm not that way. And that when you say that, like, you're accusing me of being that, because I'm the one that's responsible for those funds. I'm the one at the end of this year that will tell you exactly where we spent those dollars and what happened with it. So for you to say, you know, you're embezzling this stuff.
Take a step back, okay? Understand something. Maybe I should have made this more clear, okay? You as a human being and what you do are two entirely separate things.
Yeah.
So what you do, you might be a good moral human being, okay? But what you might work for you're
But as a good moral human being, I
you
can
know.
tell you that if I was aware that somebody was stealing money like that, especially from people like you who work really hard for it, then I'd stand up and say, this ain't right.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, I can look people in the face and say, this isn't happening as far as I know. You know, I mean, it's a different situation. Like if
Fair
I
enough.
were sitting there and you saw me driving around in a Maserati, or I was living in, you know,
Hey, man,
in a
that-
freaking $1 million house. you
Hold
know,
on, hold on 1 second though. A new Chevy is kind of like a new Maserati, man.
It's
They're
not
nice
a new
pickup.
Chevy, it's a 21. I didn't buy
Wow.
a brand new. I bought a Memorial.
But they're
You're
nice.
literally talking to the
No,
man who's
I-
55 years old and has never owned anything new. Seriously.
Let me clear the air.
Calm it down.
Okay, I was just gonna, let me say, okay, mine's an 02, and when I see that, I go, man, that's so nice. They are, I mean, you know what I mean?
My
Because I can't, you know.
2013 that I drove actually rusted out from underneath me. That's the only reason why I had to go get another car.
I won't
And,
buy
I mean,
it.
it's
Yeah.
one of those situations where you know how that is when you start looking at rocker panels and replacing them.
Tell me
It
about
was,
it.
it was like
Children drive
$7,000,
around in our
$8,000,
vehicles.
you
Yeah,
know,
we're
that
gonna
it
find
comes to it.
something that's new and reliable.
Yeah.
It's
So,
not
and if you
new.
looked at new trucks, like if I was
It's
looking
hard
at new
to find
trucks,
them.
you should check my bank account because those things are like $75,000.
Last year, this is a funny little anecdote, okay? Last year, him and I were out running around and doing what we do, okay? And he goes, let's go to the Chevy garage, okay? That's something we used to do when I was a kid, you know? Let's go to the Chevy garage, right? We're gonna look at the Chevys out there in Limber. I don't even know what it's called anymore. What's it called anymore? It's not.
Memorial Chevrolet?
Is that what it's called? It's Gap is what it used to be, you know, when it was, you know, when I was a kid or whatever, okay? 4 brand new Corvettes in there, okay? And now he's got a couple, I've had a couple, and there's like a rule that he's made me live with my whole life about Corvettes. You don't touch them if they're somebody else's unless they're at the dealership, and then you can just fingerprint them all up. So, you know, I go over and he goes, you know, there's 4 Corvettes there, and I'm getting in them and I'm looking at them and I'm, you know, he's taking pictures of me, right? Then we go over and we look at, what was it, 23 or a 24 dually crew cab Chevrolet, you know, $80,000. The one Corvette was like, what, $600 cheaper? You know, the base model Corvette was $600 cheaper than a loaded truck. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense in
What I love
America.
about Corvettes is that they're 2-seaters.
Yeah.
I got 4 kids.
Yeah.
So I don't have to ever worry about having to buy one of those things. And quite frankly, you and I, if we tried to get into those Corvettes, the 2 of us would be rolling out of there like we were bailing out of the tub, you know, without any ability to get out of it. And if you've ever been in one, man, I had an 85, one of those ones with a telescoping steering wheel.
He crawls
I
in,
never saw
he
those.
crawls in and out of his 89 all the time. He's
Man,
always driving it.
that thing was nice, but it felt like I was 2 inches off the ground and.
They're nice to ride in, they're fun to go down the highway in. You know, I have an 89 that has, I don't know, 60,000 miles. I bought it about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I love driving it. You know, I drove out to Chicago one time.
yeah.
But, you know, I'll tell you what else, I have a 72, has 9,000 miles on it.
Oh, wow.
And you know why I quit driving it? I got big shoulders, right?
Yeah.
In the door, I gotta like lay in the
Oh, yeah.
middle of it,
Yeah.
driving. You know?
Yeah, well, we joke all the time because, I mean, this is my wife Jen, she's 5'1.5", right? So when we get in her
You fit good.
Equinox, you know, she can pull her seat all the way up. I'm the opposite, I'm putting it all the way back and all the way down so I can get into the car
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, that's, you
I
know,
mean, and it does come down to that. I will tell you that that's one of the reasons. I mean, no offense, they're great quality cars, but every Japanese car I've ever been into was made for somebody smaller
well,
than
you know
me.
what?
Yeah, yeah.
The Japanese people, how big are they? They make them for that.
Petite build.
My ex-wife used to do this thing where, you know, like when I'd get in her car to drive it, I wouldn't move the seat. You know, because I used to ask her, please, if you ever drive, please, I understand you have to move the seat. Okay, my seat position's real easy, all the way back. So when you're done, move it all, right. No, right, just move it all the way back when you're getting out, so she would always forget. So what I would do when I'd have to take her anywhere to drive, I would drive with my, like on the steering wheel, like I wouldn't move her seat. I'd be like, see, I can drive and not move the seat. So, it was a whole thing.
You know,
Whole thing joke, so.
the worst part of this, you drove 70 feet to come to this damn meeting, and I drove 70 miles to come to this.
Yep.
Really? You're that far out?
Yeah, I actually, I'm done York Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I took this job. I used to be the newspaper publisher for the Tribune Democrat, for the Times News down in Cumberland. And that 75-mile drive was an hour and a half, every day down and every day back. So.
You drove down to Cumberland from Clearfield?
No.
Johnson.
From Southmont here, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a mess. I mean, especially during winter when you're doing
What
that
year,
stuff.
what did you?
Oh, that was up until I started this job, which was in 23.
Oh, okay. Oh, you had the new highway then.
Yeah.
You got that down going on 68.
Yeah, 219 was nice.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, down there, when you get to 70, what is it, 68?
Yeah.
They hit 75 or 70 on that place. And I like going a little fast, especially if it's legal, but man, those roads down there during the winter, when people were doing 70, I was like, y'all are gonna die. I mean, this is like, I don't know how they did it,
Yeah, I've, like I said, I bought the place in 07, I was still working at the time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, no neighbors,
Yeah. Now it's all filled up.
No, I have no neighbors.
No, you still don't?
I got one neighbor right up the road, and I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
one of the greatest people I ever met in my life. I'll tell you what, when I moved in up here, I'll tell you what, you would not believe the morons that Linda left. She's gone. She was the big troublemaker.
Still alive.
Huh?
Still alive.
Was she on city council?
No,
Was she on Borough Council?
She's dead and gone, or not, shouldn't live here anymore, but she causes a lot of trouble.
She caused a lot of trouble. She really did. Judy Kelly was borough councilman. She'd say something. Linda would make the bullets and start fighting, and then you bored. I mean, they were nothing.
Easy with the names, we're live.
I don't care.
I know you don't care, but I mean, don't bitch at me when you say, well, you put everything on YouTube, because I did.
Well, then why do you make me come here?
Because you had to advocate to get the money, okay? So they stopped charging you so much money. So that's why you came here today. I can't believe I have to explain that to you again, but I can't advocate for you if you're not here. I can't scream, bitch, and moan for somebody that's not here.
Enough.
So sorry you had to leave your paradise for an hour to advocate for your tenant.
It's my paradise, believe me.
So sorry about that. I have other neighbors. There is some other neighbors in the neighborhood that ask me, would you do this? Would you do this? Would you do that? Would you say this? Would you say that? And I go, I will bring anything you want to that board, okay? But the only thing I ask is that you sit right there beside, because I can't. If they defer to, well, specific question this, specific question that, well, you know, so that's the very least, you know, if you're gonna, you know, and, you know, it's one of the reasons why I started doing this is because I started advocating for him and other people and people, you know, is because he's been picked on, you know, I've been watching live, he's been picked on.
in
Clearfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where, I got 2 aunts there. I mean, we come from a big family, so there's
Okay, I
like
used to
8
go,
siblings.
I used to go up on, went like right, you got off of that 4-lane highway, made a right-hand turn, went past the run place. It goes over to Phillipsburg, only went halfway up.
322.
Huh?
322.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I used to go up to, it's called Midland, I think. They sell asphalt. Yeah,
Did you drive a truck?
yeah, I drove a tanker holding asphalt for years.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I always used to kind of laugh about, because especially when the coal trucks were running up there and stuff like that. You know, went back not too long ago and looked at the old house where I grew up at. Beautiful green lawns, you know, and all this stuff. And I was trying to tell the kids, I said, you know, we didn't even mow the grass in the front lawn when I was living in that house because the coal dust killed all the grass for 20 feet back. I said, you know, so when we were growing up, I mean, EPA was a bad word, you know, or DEP or, you know, whatever variant they want. But I'll tell you what, going back up there now, it's definitely a different county. I mean, they really cleaned it up, you know.
It was, you know, yeah, it is.
Well, even the streams and stuff like that, man. I mean, they used to run orange up there in Clearfield because of all the strip line.
Yeah, and what's that river? There's a river up there I used to go by. It was on,
Southmont.
no, the one river that goes along, when you go into Clearfield on the left side, is that the Susquehanna might be?
Yeah, the big one that's right
Yeah,
there. The one that floods
yeah,
all
some of the stuff that goes in there, you know.
I mean, they could take 5 more minutes, they could take another hour.
I'm trying to listen to what they're saying in there and seeing if they're getting to the tail end. They only had 2 discussion points. You can't take 2.
Biggest last word.
Oh, it
The
can.
worst part of it is, I ran out of checks.
I think they're gonna give you a break if you're in out of check.
I don't, you know, like I said.
Have you tried to order new checks lately? That is not the easiest thing. Remember we used to get like that thing in the mail and it was like, you know, just fill this thing out and you get them for like 500 for like $20 or something like that.
I ordered them in the bank, like,
Just go online and order them. That's what I do.
I ordered them, I don't know how long, I mean, I used to have, you know, extras and everything.
For as many paper checks as I write, I just go to the bank and buy them $2 a piece. I know it's expensive, but I write like 10 a year, so I go I'll just, then I don't lose them, you know, because I know I have 3 checks left, so I better not lose them.
Well, that's the part of what the, you know, like is different about here, like growing up in this area and stuff, was we're used to writing checks when you go to the grocery store and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, there's no other place in the United States that takes those checks except if you're like in this type of an area. You know, like you go to the big city, you might as well throw that checkbook away. In fact,
they don't
even
want-
cash they don't even want to deal with anymore. You know.
I used to deliver pizza for all the big, except for the Hut. I did the Papa and I did the Noid for years. Okay, I mean forever. So if you lived in this area between 1999 and about 2007, I delivered you pizza at one point. If you're ever here and you ever ate pizza, I have delivered
You
pizza.
probably know all the streets then.
I do. I've delivered pizza to your home before you owned it.
I believe if there was 2 teenage boys living there, there's a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I mean, I know I have. I mean, I can tell anybody that lives around here, I go, look, I delivered pizza there, okay? And we used to like, the joke used to be like when we get checks in, okay, and they used to come in periods and they used to come from different neighborhoods, okay, but literally, we used to play, that one's gonna bounce, that one's gonna bounce, and we throw them on the table, you know, to see if they would bounce or not, and
I
then,
just thought, you done?
yeah, I'm done. Not sure, yep.
You bought the house right off of the previous owner.
Yeah.
You didn't go through a real estate agent.
No, we went through a real estate agent. We went through Adam Dugan.
Okay. I bought my house 17 years ago, okay? I bought it through, is it Hannah?
Howard Hanna?
Yeah, okay. I'm talking about my house down Addison.
Yeah.
And I had 64 pages that I had to sign,
Yeah.
okay? I mean, I'm just telling you what I experienced,
Yeah.
okay? And there was, and then there, you know, because they came up with, because the price they gave me the house, and even they said, hey, you know what, you wanted it at this price, fine, you gotta accept it, okay? And it was like,
Hello,
you
gentlemen.
know,
Hey.
sewers and all this other stuff. Well, they had one of those.
Hey, Dad, you coming in, or you wanna listen from outside? Sorry about that, guys.
All right. We are back in regular session. The next item on the agenda is discussion or decision of a request from Rob and Jenna Forsey. We need additional information before we can make a determination on this.
Sure.
So I'm gonna ask for a motion to table this until the January meeting.
I make that motion.
So a second.
With,
With an extended time frame of your compliance of 1 month.
Well, I think we're okay, because we're working on it.
Yeah.
If I read the letter the right way, as long as we're in the process of trying to address the
Well,
situation, we should be.
We'll give you the month back that we're taking.
I noticed you had 8 months to cure it,
Yeah.
and because of the 1 month delay in the board acting on it, you've got a 1 month extension on that. That 8 month period is extended by a month.
Doug, does it help? The only contractor that gave us a bid was Z&B Hauling and Excavating. I've got the contact information. I mean, if you start asking me questions about where the lateral's gonna run or things like that, I mean, I defer to him, you know, as far as that goes, or.
Did you try to get other, you said you tried another?
Yeah.
5 different contractors
Yeah.
were put out that we did not request, they were actually given to us, and 4 of them refused a bid.
So, I mean, and Sherry, that's not something that you have to take our words for it. You can make a very easy phone call to the redevelopment authority. My friend Eddie's aware of the situation. He's the one who was, you know, very encouraging to come and talk to you guys about this because of the amount.
Do you know if the prior owner ever got notification of an infiltration problem?
I have no idea.
That was not disclosed to us,
It wasn't disclosed when we bought the
not
house.
only
no.
by her,
I
but
mean, when
by
we
the real
received-
estate agent either.
When we received notification, actually, we were just talking about this out in the hallway, when we received notification and we bought the house, we did receive a notification that the laterals had been replaced up to the house. And we were told that that would take care of the problem, we shouldn't have to address anything else. If we had known that we were eventually gonna have to replace the laterals underneath the house, then we would have stopped the process and said, all right, let's find out what this is gonna cost, because, I mean, here I am,
4.5
inheriting, I mean, this is no, like, I'm not accusing you guys or anything like that, but we're inheriting this issue, and we're trying to address it the right way, and we're willing to do that. If it had come in at 5,000, like, you guys want me to make payments on 5,000, I'm happy to do that. You know, I mean, but I'm almost to the point where if it gets to the $52,000 mark, I mean, that's just way too much, and I keep coming back to that is if there's, I'm not trying to be unreasonable, but in the same breath, this is a lot to take on. I mean, you're talking about, I don't know how many years, you if you guys are gonna call the redevelopment authority, I mean, you can ask them how many years that loan goes for, but my understanding is it's just basically until it's paid. And since it's a low interest loan, even then, you're talking about at least 10 years, I'm guessing, you know, for me to pay it back. So, you know, hopefully this helps with all that stuff.
Without going too far, I think we want to do some research on what notifications were sent out.
Okay, and I don't, like I said, I can't attest to what was sent before we bought the house, you know, as far as
That's what we want to look into.
Yeah.
When our notifications were sent, that's everything.
But we did purchase it in August of 20, you know, if that gives you an opportunity, when you're taking a look at it, give you a time frame to see when we became involved with it and when our notifications, what notifications were given to us.
All right, so we have a motion to table the request from Rob and Jen Forsey and extend the time frame by 1 month on their consent order. Do I have a second?
I have a question. How will you be in contact with us? Because that has been something we've had a difficulty with over the last few years, is having timely communication sent to our home so that we can address any kind of concerns. We might not receive any kind of letters from you guys until months or years later.
I have Rob's email address, I can send things there.
Well, and in that situation, what she's referring to is, I mean, Sam's not here, but, and I'm not accusing him or anything like that, but he did come out twice and do the inspection, and we didn't hear anything off the.
Amanda, I prefer that you send communications via the mail to their home.
Yeah.
So there's no question as to what has been sent.
Both is fine with me, if you guys want to do both, that's fine, or whatever you guys want to do, I'm not.
All right, so we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, the next item is the discussion decision of the request from John Klanch. This again is a situation where we feel council doesn't have enough information to make an informed decision at this time, so we want to table that until the January meeting so that we can gather that information to make the best decision possible. Do I have a motion to table this?
I have a motion, yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
What's the holdup, or what's the question that you need to know?
We just need to see information.
We need more information from Amanda on your account, and we need to review policy, because we don't have a policy at the current time that allows us to forgive anything.
Oh, just like the ordinance about parking trailers on the street, right?
No, we're trying to help you, but we have.
Okay, I'm a little bit, I'm sorry,
We have to have
Sheriff, I'm sorry
policy.
for barking at you, but I've got a very bitter taste in my mouth
But we can't.
about the way I have been dealt with over the years from zoning officers and other council members. Okay, I am sorry, I apologize, okay, thank you.
We're just gonna make sure that there's a policy.
I mean, something's good, I mean, let's face it, this is the second time I come down to try and rectify it. I've tried, okay?
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
We had a second.
Yeah, second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a good day. See you guys. Do you guys have a reorganization meeting in January or not? Or do you?
Oh, yes.
You guys have one?
Amanda, yeah, you have it. It's not on when's the reorganization meeting, which day?
That's not this year, that's the
Oh,
fall.
okay.
We don't have one next year?
No, it's every other year.
That makes more sense than yearly.
So the January one, it'll actually be a Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday.
Yep, okay.
Going back up then.
Okay, cool, thanks, guys. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Because I have
I'm gonna end my live stream inside here while it's still daylight. There's still a little bit of light. It'll take me 30 seconds. It is Thanks, Amanda. Sorry about that. I'm using a little bit of light in here. Appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for coming by. Have a good night.